Around the Bead podcast, tire talk for trucking, mining, agriculture, and more. Your home for fleet solutions, aiming to inform, pioneer, and entertain the tire world and connected industries. Sponsored by East Bay Tire, keeping essential industries moving forward.
Around the Beat is back. I am Joe Pahanik, and I'm joined by my co-host, Big John. In studio today, we have ROI Rob talking about scrap analysis. Gentlemen, you ready to kick the tires?
Let's roll.
Get it. What's going on, Rob?
How you doing, John?
Good.
Rob, what is a scrap analysis? Why is it so important?
Scrap
Why are we having a
analysis.
whole episode about it?
Gosh, because we can change the fortune of a fleet just by understanding what's going on with their tires and looking at the tires that they want to throw away and get rid of because they don't want them collecting water and mosquitoes, right? Yeah. So scrap tire analysis is diving through what tires they've ruined or have had issues with and really determining what are the removal factors, why, and is there anything we can do to change the fortune of their fleet, right? Are they adjustable tires? Is there credits? Is there money we can find for the fleet? Is there driver habits we can change and mold? Is there air pressure issues? There's so much that goes into it.
So where do you start? I mean, is that something that starts when you begin with a fleet? You say, hey, we want you to keep your scrap tires?
And it almost starts with the first time you go to call on a fleet. I know John's always been famous for saying this, man, you park near that scrap tire pile and you walk past that thing because as you're in the research process of learning about a fleet, that's probably step number one, right? Is learning what they're running, how they're running it, how it's wearing in their fleet, what it looks like. If I'm going to be a true consultant, if you will, to a fleet, I need to know what they're doing and why they're doing it.
So you got a scrap pile. Where do you begin? You start pulling them out. You're looking at tread. You're looking at casings, beads. What are you looking for?
The first thing that would always catch my eye is the tread, and I'm looking for irregular wear patterns in tread, and then trying to understand maybe why they're having irregular wear patterns in tread. Because when you talk to a fleet manager, he may tell you, oh, I've tried that tire and it doesn't work really well. Well, by looking at the wear pattern, I may be able to very quickly learn that he's got a major alignment issue in his trucks or an air pressure issue based on what kind of wear those tires are showing. He may tell you that I ruin all my tires and it doesn't matter. I'm just going to buy the cheapest tire out there. Well, we'll go look at them and, hey, man, these are all impact damage. So, yeah, maybe you do have a point, or these are zipper ruptures. You're running your tires flat. What air pressure are you running them at? Let's go look at the fleet next, right? And check some air pressures. So learn a lot by starting with the scrap pile.
Trailer, drive, steer, any particular position that brings up more issues than others?
You're going to see your kind of alignment issues in the steer tires the most, right? Whether you're getting feathering of that tire from one side to the other, where you're wearing out one shoulder faster than the other, whether you're getting some kind of irregular wear down one tread or one lug of the tread. So there's a lot you're going to see in the steer tires the quickest, and then the drive tires are going to give you a lot of air pressure understanding along with the trailer tires, right? So
What about application? Does that play a part in irregular wear?
yeah, absolutely. If you're looking at a fleet full of sleeper cabs and they're running 53 footers across country, and you roll up on their scrap tire pile and they say the tires haven't been working great, and you see a lot of solid shoulder steer tires or open shoulder drive tires, you're going to quickly understand they may be possibly running the wrong application, and it's something that you can immediately address and help them fix.
You mentioned air pressure for drives. Are you going to have more issues with air pressure in drives that affect performance versus steers and trailers?
Yeah, typically because most fleets are, it comes down to the driver a lot of the times with checking air pressure. And air pressure is something they can somewhat see in a steer tire, right? Because all that weight's only on 2 tires. So if they're a little low or flat, they're getting a real quick understanding that I got an issue up there. But those drives, getting drivers to check inside duals and bending down and finding valve stems and check those, they're covered by the trailer a lot of the times when they're not unhooked. And when I say covered, it's just not as easily accessible as just eyeballing a steer tire. So you're going to see more of your air pressure with the drives, and then a lot more of your air pressure with the trailer because, they're too far away from the cab. So
I don't see the problem. Just get the club out. I could tell within 3-4 pounds. Whack that tire a couple times. I know exactly which ones are underinflated.
I had a yard goat driver tell me one day when we were checking air pressures with an air gauge that we were wasting our time. He already checked them today.
Yes.
I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, yeah, I bumped them all, man. We're good.
We're good. No flats.
No flats.
Ready
No
to
flats.
go.
Good to go.
Yeah.
105.
Yeah.
So tell us about your last scrap tire analysis and what you found.
One of the things that I find, I have a large fleet. They have a number of trucks that wear tires out very frequently, but trailer tires, we had a large surge in trailer tires, and trying to understand why we had such a large surge in changing trailer tires when that wasn't the norm for them. Well, in doing the scrap tire analysis, we found that not only were the tires almost 10 years old, but they were all showing signs of underinflation, run flat, if you will, to a zipper rupture type of program. And then that led us to ask more questions and go back and look at the fleet, and where that particular brand of tire, we found they were original on the trailers, and they hadn't been air serviced during their 90-day bits like was part of their fleet's program. So these tires are all running around carrying their max weight at 50, 60 pounds because they've been on for so many years, losing air little by little by little by little, and they're running tires flat. So
Seasonal fleet, like an ag fleet, or was it?
no, it's over the road fleet. Well, more of a regional fleet, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Where the trailers would be, they've got 300 trucks and they've got 1,500 trailers, right? So the trailers are getting loaded and they're going to a location and being left for 30, 60, 90 days with no movement while they're moving other trailers here or there. Then when they're empty, they pick them back up and they'll sit back at the warehouse for 60 days till they run again. And so
a batch of their trailers was 10 years old and all those tires were starting to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something, pivot a little bit from scrap tire analysis, you do all this data collection, your team does. Are you putting in DOTs in any data to track age? It's hard because it's only on one side.
Yeah, it's hard because it's only on one side. Where we do track the DOT and track age a lot is in the retreading process, right? So the common industry advice is to keep tires within 7 years, 7 to 9 years max. Yeah. It was always 7 years. In some cases, it was 5 years. And within the last couple of years, as people have tried to expand and reduce expenses, they've tried to push those tires to a 9-year retreading life cycle on trailers. We've seen the failures creep up greater and greater because of that. And so as tires go in for retreading, the DOT is entered, and we can track through that process the number of time, how old it is, and the number of times it gets retreaded, which is where we generally make suggestions on how much to use them.
How does a scrap tire analysis of retreads differ than new tires?
Well, with retreads, I mean, new tires is pretty simple, right? I mean, there's maybe a date on it and you know how old the tire is and you're looking for wear issues or what caused it to fail. When you get to retread tires, each retread is stamped every time it's retreaded. So not only are you analyzing the wear pattern and what maybe caused it to fail, but you're now also analyzing how old is that tire and how many times was it retreaded, and can we do justice by the fleet by avoiding an extra retread, or do we see small enough occurrences of failures in the number of retreads that we can expand them another retread and maybe save the fleet a little bit more money. You know, they get another trailer retread at $150 versus another new tire at $350. So,
But are you looking more at casing conditions versus wear patterns?
yes, with the retreads and those number of retreads, it's more of a casing condition and how is the casing performing? How is the cracking in it? How's the bead holding up to all the heat it's generated? And what does that look like?
What are you looking for on the bead?
You want to make sure it's still soft is a way to describe it, right? You know, those beads, when they're with a lot of break heat build up in time over time, they'll get hard and brittle and start to crack apart. And when they start to break apart, you're allowing air intrusion into the casing, which is ultimately going to cause and lead to more failures.
I never thought of that.
So the other side of it is also looking at inside of those casings is the number of repairs. What does it cost to add another repair? What does a new casing cost? Can we save them some cost and some hardship by saying, hey, this tire's got 3 sections in it already. Why would we retread it again for all that expense when, you know, its structure, its rigidity has been reduced by all these extra repairs in it?
Yeah.
Do fleets generally give a guideline on how many repairs that they're willing to let happen in that tire?
Yeah.
Or how many times it's been retreaded?
I mean, at this point in the world, I mean, retreading's been around long enough, and most people have had some kind of conversation with somebody from one of the major retreaders that most fleets will have a guideline. But it's our job to review those guidelines and review the scrap tire analysis and continue to go through it and see if we can make adjustments for that.
So scrap analysis, retreaded fleet or new tire fleet, how often do you recommend going through that scrap? I mean, obviously, there's more you can do it, but it's not economically feasible to do it every single day.
No, God, no. It's really based on the size of the fleet and the number of tires, right? I mean, if you're retreading 200 tires a month for them, then you probably should be doing it minimum of monthly, because you don't want to have to go out there and go through 300 tires at a time. It just takes too much time out of our day, out of a fleet manager's day to review that kind of stuff. I typically try to do it monthly, and then what I do for my fleet managers, some fleets are required to review the fleet. It's part of their program, right? I usually review it before they come in and separate all of my tires based on, you know, what the causes of failures were, so we can have a quicker conversation and really identify pain points for them and what we can actually learn out of it. Mm-hmm. No fleet manager wants to look at a tire that's obviously bald and is 12 years old and spend time looking at that tire. They got what they wanted out of it. It did exactly what they wanted. Let's move on to, hey, why did that tire blow up? Why does that one have all this irregular wear? Why does a brand new steer tire sitting over here out of service already? What happened there? Yeah.
So casing condition wise, what's the most common scenarios you see? For our audience, that's not the tread, that's the physical casing, the tire itself.
So one of the things you'll see as they start to age out, they'll start to what we call ozone crack out, right? We'll see that a lot, and that's really a weathering of the tire as it ages. And it can happen for a couple of reasons. One is just sheer age, but the other is they don't use their tires enough, right? It's a real common occurrence in RVs where they'll buy a new RV, they use it once a year, and it sits, and the sun hits that tire. But part of the process of that tire rolling down the road and moving it is enacting all the chemicals inside of that tire to work as they should and keeping that tire lubricated, if you will, which reduces that ozone weather cracking. So a couple things we see there that's pretty common in aging of tires.
How about casings themselves? You see a huge difference today between a tier 3 tire and a tier 1 tire?
Not
casing quality?
Not like it was even 6 years ago,
yeah.
10 years ago. I mean, you didn't want to cap some of the 3rd and 4th tier type tires, right? Because just the way their belt packages are built within the tires, there's less consistency to them. They're more prone to failure and ruptures. and just kind of falling apart. What we see in some of the majors is now translating over to some of those tier 3 tires, and they're getting better and better. We're getting 3 to 4 caps out of some of the tires that you may not know the name of right now, and they're doing really well.
So I'm thinking about it from a monetary standpoint for a fleet. We always aim to improve tire wear by 10, 20%, right? Year one. Is that something a fleet could say, that's my starting point? I want to look at what I spend and bring in somebody to analyze my scrap to try and improve wear, and they can look at it from a budgetary standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. If we were to come in and just start looking at scrap, and if we can identify wear issues, air pressure issues, all those things, some simple fixes can make a huge difference in their budget.
I would think it's time for us to standardize that. I mean, that's an easy win for a fleet to bring in a guy like you, look at it, give these action items, and then boom, they could easily see 5 to 10% better wear.
Yeah,
Should be part of asset management.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a big part of the data team too, right? We look at those scrap and we start to ask questions and wonder why, and then we bring the data team. We do a little bit more deep dive research. We combine the two together. You're talking 30, 40% better sometimes in budgetary spend just by understanding the fleet.
Right.
When you're doing a scrap tire analysis, one of the biggest fears I think with anybody retreading is a zipper. Probably one of the most dangerous things a tire changer, faces on a daily basis. Can you find that, predict that, doing a thorough scrap analysis, or is that something that's always going to be caught at the retread shop?
What for our audience? What is a zipper?
Okay, so a zipper rupture is typically when a tire is run underinflated, somewhat at high speeds or for an elongated period of time. It may not sometimes be entirely noticeable, but when that tire is then reinflated, the air will find the weakest point to escape from that casing, which is where it ran at low pressure and continually flexed. Those wires will instantaneously break, causing the tire to somewhat explode and what we call a zipper rupture. We call it a zipper rupture because after the air escapes, you see the wires inside and it looks like a zipper was opened.
Yeah.
So that's how we explain a zipper rupture. As far as catching it, there's usually some telltale signs that a tire has been run underinflated, where the liner inside will start to flake apart or discolor. It's a dark black liner inside the tire, but the shade of that color will change a little bit and give some signs. Sometimes we can't see it. Sometimes chirography or X-ray at the retread plant will catch it, but I mean, it is a scary thing. I've seen plenty make it all the way through retreading and consistent blowups inside of a cage when we air them up at the shop.
I seen one about 3 months ago. It scared the hell out of me, and I was about 100 yards away.
Yeah.
How common is it? So when we get trained as tire techs, that's like the big something terrible could happen. It's the zipper rupture. You got to be careful because you never know when it's going to happen. How common is it today, though? It's definitely more common with retreads. Obviously. I mean, with new tires, it's non-existent.
Yeah. When you talk commonality, even for a major, tire facility that's doing tires all day long, they're not going to have 1 or 2 a day, right? But common enough that 1, 2 a quarter is possible, and I've seen it with a major local fleet at a past position I had. But we were seeing tires come out of a retread plant, and man, it was almost 1 a month would explode in the cage while it was getting aired up.
Whoa!
And that was a fleet that had pushed their retreading to an extra year of the casing age and an extra cycle of retreads. So it was scary. I mean, it shakes the building when one explodes outside in the shop.
Tire cages and automatic inflators must.
Absolutely.
Any tire shop.
Yeah. Must. Yeah.
The scariest thing I see is a guy airing up a retread without it being in a cage.
Yeah.
All day long.
And standing right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk about zippers. How many other conditions are there? Failure conditions.
There's tons of failure conditions.
There's got to be a limit, though.
Well, I mean,
Is it a dozen? Is 2 dozen? Is 3 dozen? You know where I'm going with this.
there's quite a few. Yeah, there's a limit, but man, you could see something new all the time that you've never seen before. Lightning damage is a cause of failure, right? Like we don't see it very often, but it happens. Impact damage, run to destruction, underinflation. You've got warrantyable type issues where a retread will fall apart or a new tire will have an issue and it becomes out of service. Brake skidding, wearing it too far to the cords so we can't retread it anymore. There's just so many things out there.
Yeah. Well, I want you to build a library. I'm going to tell you now. Make it easy for our audience, fleet owners, operators, so that they can look, here's something that happened, here's the cause.
Yeah.
Right? It shouldn't be a mystery that somebody come out and say, well, I think it's this or I think it's that. There's information on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And think is what we get a lot. I think this happened. Maybe that happened.
Well, you have a zipper. You come up with all sorts of conclusions of what could have happened. What if it happened on the road? Because you can have a tire zipper while it's running, right? Oh, the tire failed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was retreaded 6 times and it's 9 years old. The tire failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect example of, being educated in your field, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Learning your craft and educating yourself and understanding. And I think our industry sometimes falls short. Yeah. There's a lot of guys out there who couldn't tell you what caused any kind of typical wear. They're either it's underinflated or alignment, when it could be, as you said, tons of different things.
Yeah.
And
there's so much.
As Joe said, putting that guide together, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We can bring some tires in here on around the bead and roll them around.
Absolutely.
And
get some little cutouts.
Yeah. We say it jokingly, but it's something so simple that we should be doing. I mean, we do scrap tire analysis all the time. Like, let's get a camera out. Let's talk about it and let's share some of that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I think about all the time is, I go and get tires on my wife's car. I'm getting an alignment every time. Mm-hmm. How many trucks are out there actually getting alignment? Oh. And I see alignment wear all the time.
Yes.
And I'd say maybe less than 5% of the trucks out there get an alignment on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've major fleets that don't do alignments at all.
Yeah.
They just mount them with the yellow dot next to the valve stem and they should be fine, right?
Should be fine.
Should be great.
Well, we can do a better job as an industry explaining what you gain from that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes the person who's making that decision, it's not their money, right? Your wife's car, it's your money. You're like, I want the return on these tires.
And the return's the thing, right? I think it's expense versus investment.
Yeah.
If I'm a long haul truck driver, I'm putting a couple Michelin steers on my truck. That's not cheap.
Yeah.
I'm protecting my investment.
Yeah. You see owner operators
Yes.
put a huge amount of maintenance in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the fleets tend to lose sight of that. They just look at it as another
dollar
expense,
cents.
and yeah. So.
Yep.
So we're finalizing this scrap tire analysis. Easy way for a fleet to say, pull in their tire guy, see what they know, test them, and probably get some big savings for free. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. For all you tire guys out there, park next to that scrap tire.
Yeah.
Take a look before you go in.
Look at the radial casing conditions
That's
guide.
right.
Ooh.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're building a digital catalog. We agree?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in.
All right. I'm good. You guys got anything else?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Till next time.
Thanks, guys.
Around the Bead podcast, tire talk for trucking, mining, agriculture, and more. Your home for fleet solutions, aiming to inform, pioneer, and entertain the tire world and connected industries. Sponsored by East Bay Tire, keeping essential industries moving forward.